In life, we have dynamic roles. Sometimes one face is not enough. We often use terms like two-headed snakes or chameleons to describe those who navigate the world with duality, shifting their identities to suit different situations. Yet, this fluidity is not always deceitful. It can be a survival tactic, a means of managing diverse expectations and protecting one's inner self. To thrive, we must learn when to wear different masks and when to show our true face, balancing the art of adaptation with the need for authenticity. You already know what we are talking about in this video. Don't use it to harm anyone. We not only describe the law, also share how and when to use it, and how to identify when someone else is using it to manipulate you. All in this very video. Give me your 15 minutes. I promise you won't regret. Chapter 1. The Mask. In order to live in a society that tends to penalize nonconformity to norms, one must learn how to conform. You may think what you want, but control your actions like everyone else. Don't be too unique is a rule that stems from the classic battle between the self and the world. It teaches us the necessity of wearing a mask, not to deceive, but to protect ourselves from scrutiny and judgment. When you express your true thoughts too openly, you risk becoming a target for those who fear or misunderstand you. By blending in, you remain free to think independently while shielding yourself from unnecessary conflict. The Stoics teach us about the internal freedom. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and the philosopher, used to think that to be strong is to be powerful from inside and have the ability to rule one's own spirit. The show is simply that, a show. The outward appearance is just that, an appearance. By conforming outwardly, you do not betray your inner self. Rather, you keep your true self guarded and unblemished by external judgments. The real battle for the Stoic is always within, where you remain sovereign over your thoughts, regardless of the pressures around you. Psychologically, this law draws upon the chameleon effect, a phenomenon identified in 1999 by Tanya Chartrand and John Bargh. They found that people naturally mimic the behaviors, postures, and mannerisms of others to create rapport and social harmony. By consciously using this effect, you make yourself less of a target, gaining the trust and acceptance of those around you. You become a mirror that reflects others' expectations, easing their anxieties and suspicions. To use this law for power, don't wear the mask so tightly that it suffocates you. Instead, think of it as a tool, something you can wear or remove depending on the context. When you're among like-minded people, the mask can slip, revealing more of who you are. But when surrounded by those who might oppose or misunderstand you, it serves as your shield. However, to protect yourself from those who might use this law against you, look beyond the surface, learn to see through the masks of others, and listen to what is not being said. This way, you arm yourself against the subtle manipulations that others might employ to blend in while harboring intentions that conflict with yours. Chapter 2. The Art of Subtlety. In a world where everyone seeks to stand out, sometimes the wisest choice is to disappear into the crowd. Subtlety is a quiet strength, an invisible hand that guides events without being noticed. When you act boldly or speak loudly, you draw attention, and attention invites scrutiny. Yet those who know how to influence without attracting notice are often the most powerful. The law suggests that true influence comes from the shadows, not the spotlight. The philosopher Epictetus, a Stoic thinker, often taught that external things are not under our control. Only our own thoughts and actions are. By behaving like others, you shift focus away from yourself and direct your energy toward what truly matters, your thoughts, your plans, your inner compass. By not standing out, you protect your inner freedom and allow yourself to operate from a place of inner calm. You preserve your autonomy while others are busy clamoring for recognition and applause. A psychological study from 1974 by Albert Bandura highlights the concept of social learning theory. People learn not only by their own experiences, but also by observing the behavior of others and the consequences that follow. When you observe and mirror the accepted behaviors around you, you learn what is safe and what is dangerous, what will lead to acceptance and what to ostracism. In essence, you become adept at navigating social waters without making waves. To wield this law effectively, make your presence known without revealing too much. It's about understanding the value of silence, the strength of restraint. Your thoughts can be wild and free, but your actions should blend with those of the group. Speak only when it adds value. Act only when it aligns with both your objectives and the expectations around you. The aim is to be both present and unseen, like the roots of a great tree, hidden yet foundational. To guard against those who may use this law against you, become aware of the quiet ones, the agreeable ones who nod along without ever revealing their own views. Just because someone seems to behave like everyone else does not mean they think like everyone else. Their subtlety could be a cloak for hidden intentions. Look for small inconsistencies, brief flashes of genuine emotion or unexpected knowledge. These tiny details will help you discern the true thoughts hiding behind a mask of conformity. Chapter 3. The Freedom Within. There is a duality to the law. Think as you like, but behave like others that can be both liberating and restrictive. At its core, this law is about maintaining a private sanctuary for your thoughts while navigating the public world with a measure of caution. It teaches you to build a fortress around your inner self, to keep your thoughts as free as the wind while ensuring your actions are disciplined and aligned with the norms of those around you. Jean-Paul Sartre, an existentialist philosopher, believed that man is condemned to be free. In every choice, there is both freedom and responsibility. This law leverages that notion, encourages you to exercise your freedom within, knowing that every outward choice has consequences. It is not about surrendering who you are, but about choosing your battles wisely. You can let your mind wander the farthest reaches of the universe, but outwardly, you play the part expected of you, knowing that the power of your thoughts remains untouched by the gaze of others. This balancing act draws upon the psychological principle of impression management, explored by Erving Goffman in 1959. We constantly shape our behaviors to fit social expectations, aiming to create favorable impressions. By consciously managing these impressions, you navigate the world more effectively, securing opportunities and alliances without compromising your deeper beliefs. You control the narrative others perceive, presenting yourself in a way that aligns with their expectations while safeguarding your internal autonomy. To use this law to your advantage, master the art of selective disclosure. Choose carefully what you reveal and to whom. By offering only what is needed, you protect your inner life from unwelcome interference. This does not mean living a lie, but rather choosing the version of yourself most suited to each situation. Let your thoughts be infinite, but channel your actions with purpose. Conversely, to defend against those who might use this law against you, understand the subtle dance of conformity and rebellion. People often act predictably to avoid suspicion. It is good strategy to recognize a fake friend, just saying. Look for contradictions between their words and their actions, or moments when their behavior seems too tailored to fit in. These are signs of someone who may be hiding their true intentions, using conformity as a cover. By learning to read these cues, you equip yourself with a deeper understanding of the true motives of those around you, protecting your own interests against unseen agendas. Just a quick reminder, if you're enjoying this video, please consider like and subscribe, and thanks a lot if you did already. Moving on. Chapter 4. The Invisible Approach. Adaptability is a silent force, a dynamic balance between the unyielding and the flexible. Think as you like, but behave like others invites you to become like water, shaping yourself to fit the container of each new environment. In a society that often values conformity over authenticity, the ability to adapt becomes a strategic strength. It is not about losing yourself, but about flowing around obstacles, making the best use of the space you are given. This concept resonates with the Taoist philosophy of Wu Wei, or effortless action. The Taoists teach that the strongest force is one that flows, that adapts to its surroundings, without force or friction. By behaving like others, you do not oppose the current of the world. Instead, you move with it, quietly steering yourself toward your desired destination. There is power in this subtle, almost invisible approach, a power that comes from understanding when to bend and when to remain firm. In psychological terms, this law touches on the principle of cognitive flexibility, the mental ability to switch between thinking about different concepts or adapt to new, unexpected situations. Studies, such as those by Scott Barry Kaufman in 2012, show that individuals who are more cognitively flexible tend to cope better with change and are more innovative in their thinking. By behaving like others, you maintain a level of adaptability that keeps you open to new ideas and opportunities, while your thoughts remain free and unrestricted. To use this law effectively, embrace the dual nature of adaptability. Know when to conform and when to assert your true self, balancing these instincts with grace. When in doubt, lean into conformity, not out of fear, but out of strategy. Adapt to the expectations of your environment, while maintaining a core of integrity that guides your thoughts and long-term goals. This way, you become a shapeshifter, never entirely predictable, always one step ahead. To protect yourself from those who wield adaptability as a tool, be wary of those who change too easily, who are too quick to agree and too ready to blend in. Such people may lack a firm center and could be using adaptability to hide their intentions or to manipulate the flow of events. The key is to test their consistency over time. Watch how they behave in different situations. Observe whether their adaptability serves a greater purpose or merely their immediate advantage. In doing so, you shield yourself from the subtle maneuvers of those who use this law to conceal their true aims. Chapter 5. The Balance of Power and Authenticity. The final layer of the mask lies in finding harmony between external conformity and internal authenticity. The art is not merely in blending in, but in balancing the outside world's demands with your own need for self-expression. Too much conformity, and you lose yourself. Too little, and you risk isolation or rejection. The key is to master the dual roles we all play, the public face and the private self, so neither is compromised by the other. Friedrich Nietzsche, a philosopher who explored the struggle between individual freedom and societal expectations, argued that one should live as an artist of life. By this, he meant crafting your existence with a balance between truth and artifice. While it is essential to express your authentic self, there is wisdom in knowing when to hold back, to be strategic in choosing when and how to reveal yourself. This law is not a denial of self, but a recognition that survival and influence often depend on a nuanced dance between showing and hiding. From a psychological point of view, this fine line corresponds to what Mark Snyder called self-monitoring back in 1974. The high self-monitors are thus able to adapt to the environment and act appropriately, while the low self-monitors will act in a similar manner in all the situations. It is important for a manager to understand his or her own working style and temperance, so as to know when to compromise and when not to. This law becomes the one that is managed with the help of self-awareness, thus turning flexibility into an instrument for achieving the desired objectives without compromising one's identity. To use this law effectively for power, consider it as a means of tactical authenticity. Reveal just enough of your true self to build trust, but not so much that you expose your vulnerabilities or alienate others. Let people see a curated version of you, authentic enough to be believed, but measured enough to maintain control over your narrative. This way, you harness both the power of conformity and the strength of your unique perspective. To defend against this law being used on you, cultivate a sense of patience and keen observation. Notice who seems overly agreeable, who changes their behavior too readily, depending on the company. These are the people who have mastered the art of blending in, but they may not be as aligned with you as they appear. Trust those whose actions show consistency over time, who are not afraid to reveal a genuine opinion, even if it means standing apart from the crowd. By understanding both the utility and the limits of this law, you strengthen your own position and gain clarity about the true nature of those around you.